class is in session. Got a little behind on the atomic attraction book, but we're going to go ahead and pick up where I left off, and I will catch up this week. Don't worry, we'll get to this book. We're almost done, but we're moving on to chapter 32. Hopefully it's helping you out. This is going to be an important chapter here, and it's one I know a lot about. Chapter 32, the power of sex. Sex is not only the basis of life, it is the reason for life. Norman Lindsay. Men and women are biologically designed to come together and reproduce and ensure the survival of the species. Yes, that's really the main reason men and women get together. Is to bang, is to reproduce. You know, lions, tigers, the males and females exist to bang each other or bang the alpha, whatever you want. But reproduction, you have to reproduce offspring to keep your species alive. And God, or whatever you believe in, but I believe in God, and I believe He did a great job designing the human mating system that we live in. In most cases, sex marks a different turning point in the relationship. It's the moment the woman submits to a man and allows him to become intimate with her. When a woman has sex, a series of powerful chemicals are released that are released and makes a woman feel closer to a man. So when she has sex, a series of chemicals are released that makes her feel close. Okay, but let's hold on a second. I think this is a narrative that's overdone, especially nowadays. I mean, women were hooking up with tons of guys on the dating apps. Men weren't, women were. Women have, sex is not as, I say this, because women have access to sex a lot, okay? And that's not, oh, I'm so mad they have, no. It's just, they have a lot of offers and options, right? And especially for casual sex, right? So sex for women is not, when men get offered sex, we're not offered sex that much. We got to work hard. We got to work harder than women, which is fine, right? So we put it more on a pedestal than women do, okay? So don't believe the BS, I need a connection, and then when I do, I have soul ties. No, they don't. If that were true, you wouldn't have a divorce rate of 50%. Because those women had sex with those men, and they ain't very close. So don't believe the bullshit, okay? During sex, the areas of the female brain that are affected by arousal are the amygdala, the ventral tegmental area, the nucleus accumbens, and the cerebellum, and the pituitary gland. One reason sex has such a powerful effect on women is that it activates so many areas of the brain. So and sex is powerful for women in a certain degree. I mean, especially if you're good at it. If you're giving women orgasms, their orgasms are powerful, okay? Men's orgasms average 20 seconds. Men usually get one. Women's orgasms, I don't know the average, but this is just off my, experience. They can have, they can be a minute long, a minute and a half long, and they're all different. I mean, they can be, when women talk about orgasms, they love their orgasms, trust me. And you'll see a woman after a good sex session, the whole, next 3 or 4 days, she's totally different. Now it doesn't last that long, but after 3 or 4 days, she's back to the same. But you can bring a woman out of a funk. I mean, I used to have a joke with this girl I dated, and I said, if employers knew how, how you acted after sex, you can be employee of the month, because you're so nice after sex, and we were having a lot of it. And so she played a trick on me and said she had gotten employee of the month and created all this. It would look real. I actually believed it. And man, it was a prank on me, but She said, "Oh, that was all fake. I wasn't really employing them." It was good. It was a great joke. Anyway, but women do act different after sex for sure. It definitely changes them for a little bit. All at once, it is okay. So many areas of the brain are affected all at once. Okay, it is real quick, because women don't have the drive to have sex. Men have a drive to have sex, but it's just a drive. It's like, go run into that wall, go run into that wall, go run into that wall. It's like taking kind of the kind of idiot, the tough guy, or strong guy, but doesn't have much brains, and go blast through that wall, and he goes, that's kind of men and our drive for sex. It's like, just go do it, don't worry about anything, just go do it, and it's like, but it doesn't even feel that, it's not like it for men. It's not, oh, this is a beautiful process, I love the feeling, it's amazing. No, our body just say, go do it, Women's bodies are different. They have those chemical releases, the areas of the brain are being affected, their orgasms are super powerful, and women are like, oh my God, that felt so good. Now, they don't have the drive like we got, but they have the experience like we, out of this world, that we don't have. So when they think about it, it really arouses them. Anyway, that's just something I think about on my own. Okay, it is not so much that love is blind, but the chemicals within our bodies that make us blind. Yeah, so it's not like, those are chemicals. Those are the chemicals working in your brain, right? A study published in the Journal of Neuroscience found that male and female brains light up like a person taking heroin when they are experiencing orgasm. Heroin, yeah, that's why they say, that's why it's so powerful, and that's why it can be addictive, right? Let's see. A whole host of chemicals are responsible for this chemical overload. First, a dopamine release lifts our mood and gives us pleasure. At the same time, prolactin releases and makes us feel satisfied, where oxytocin makes us feel closer. Now, I'll take all of the oxytocin, this big, women release tons of oxytocin, and if you have sex with a woman, that oxytocin is going to be so binding by you two. I don't believe that. I don't know. Nope. I've had plenty of hookups that oxytocin is not that powerful. Anyway, and more attached. So oxytocin release and makes them more attached to the personal, to the person that she's having sex with. When the oxytocin's when oxytocin's released in her blood, it makes her connected and attached to the person. I don't. It's not that strong. Like I said, the divorce rate would not be at 50% if oxytocin was doing its job. It should be noted, and why are girls that we're having sex with nowadays, none of them are virgins, which is not judging. But if oxytocin was such a thing, why are there so many non-virgins? Women have, okay. But anyway, and I'm not going hard on anybody on that. I'm just saying, men, don't believe the bullshit. Look what's going on in front of you. Okay, and the reason I get, and you'll see other videos on my channel if you watch them, because women can finesse so well with sex, I want the narrative about what sex is to women very accurate. It's not to go hard on women, it's to protect men from being finessed with sex by a false narrative, because that's the women's most powerful agency. If I had a sports team and, my best player comes in and, here you go, Tom Brady, the famous quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks arguably ever in the NFL, played for the Patriots. And like every week he's probable because of injury, right? Well, they did that because they don't want the other team to know, is he playing or is he not? So your best guy, you don't want the other team to know, so you don't know how to attack us. Well, your most powerful agency, you don't want us to know how you operate it. because you don't want us to, figure it out. Anyway, and again, this is not diabolical, just protecting men from being finessed. That's all I want to do. Okay. Let's see. It should be noted, and it should be noted that oxytocin is released in much higher quantities in women. I already went over that. Doesn't mean still 50% divorce rate, still a lot of non-virgins out there. All right. Finally, phenethylamine, a stimulant also found in chocolate. See, this is one, there's a lot of, kind of jokes out there that when women like chocolate because it, has chemicals that are consistent with orgasm. Well, I guess this is the one, phenethylamine. That's why they say women like chocolate so much. Also found in chocolate. Let's see. In our, let's see. Okay. In large levels. Okay. Improves our energy. Okay, so sorry, I couldn't read the words. All right, guys. Phenethylamine improves your energy. Okay, and it also improves the mood, I guess. So anyway, here we go. Keep going. And phenethylamine makes us feel happy. This is why sex is so addictive. Yeah. And powerful. Yes, and it's powerful for both men and women. We have to, that's the BS that I've put on my channel. We got to get this, out of our heads that, women are just doing it to be nice to us and they do it because they love us. And no, it's because they love it. Okay. Anyway, and I've got tons of videos on that on my channel. Anyway, the moment you have sex with a woman, there is a good chance she will become addicted to you. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, now, I will say, if a woman has a great time with you sexually, it can make her feel some kind of way. Absolutely. But a lot of times, no. I've had plenty of hookups, and no addiction. I mean, we just have fun. We had a great time, right? A man who understands the power of sex can make a woman fall in love with him. And I've had that. That was, I don't want to just, toot my own horn, I don't try to flex or anything, but it was one of my strategies, I thought, because when I had sex with a woman, it was a good chance she was going to stay with me for a while because, I like to have good sex and I'd like to take it seriously and whatever. And so I always knew if we banged, I was, she was going to be mine for a little while, and women do respond to great sex. If you give a woman good sex, they'll stick around. They love good sex. All right. Let's see. Who with her? Okay, simply by having sex with her, simply by sleeping with her. That's right. Okay. You can make a woman fall in love simply by sleeping with her. There is sex that increases attraction and sex that kills attraction. Facts. If you have sex in a submissive way, it can turn a woman off. Absolutely. Do never be submissive with a woman. A lot of times women will try to, I've always had these BDSM, conversations with women. And, oh, yes, I love dominant men. Yeah, no, we know you love dominance. We know. They act like it's your first time, hearing this. Yeah, I like dominant men. Every woman does. Okay. But never, sometimes sometimes I like to play and have the man submit to me. No, because a woman can't unsee what she saw. And she'll test you. Sometimes she'll test you. Don't ever be the submissive person. No, you're always her protection. You're always her, her daddy. No, you're not going to submit. She's going to every time. Okay? Okay, keep going. Yeah, submissive sex is bad. Because what are we always trying to do? We're always trying to, have, show our strength as men and show our masculinity. That's what's attractive to women. So why would we be submissive? What can turn a woman off? Oh, okay. So yeah. So that's submissive sex. So you can turn a woman off. What constitute weak submissive sex? Okay, so now we have case study 32. Okay, so case study 32, I'll summarize this one. It's this guy, he's going out with this girl, they've had a good time, they've had a couple dates, and they're getting along, she likes him, and she wants it, they both, it's not super, super awesome, but they're really having a good time, she really thinks he's cool. So he has her come over for dinner. It's Harold, okay, Harold and Chloe, that's right. So Harold asks Chloe to come to dinner, and he makes a great lasagna, and they have some, they're just sitting there drinking and talking and just having a good time, and she was there at his house, and this was the first time she went to his house after a couple dates, and it's been 3 hours, and she's like, damn, like, when's he gonna, and so after 3 hours, nothing's happened, and he knows, like, Harold knows, damn, I gotta do something, like, but he couldn't find, according to him, he couldn't find a way in, like, I don't know when to do it, So finally, after 4 hours, Chloe says, are you going to kiss me or not? And he's like, oh, yeah, sure. And so he gives her a kiss, right? And they had a great kiss. And so now they're talking some more, and they're having a good time, Chloe. But then Harold screws up, and he says, I want to kiss you again. And he's like, can I? That right there, gentlemen, you never ask a woman if you can kiss her. You just go for it, right? Now, here's the thing. I don't want any guys to get in trouble by forcing that, not forcing, but, doing anything physically with a woman that she didn't like, right? And here's the thing. You have to go in for the kiss. You're not going to tell her, and you're going to try to, and again, take this, not force yourself upon her, but you're going to be bold with energy and go and be direct and take that kiss and give it to her, right? Now, you get any pushback from a woman, and here's how you stay out of trouble, guys. First, you need to learn how to read women. Secondly, a woman gives you any pushback, stop right away. A woman that wants to kiss you, a woman that wants to be sexual with you, will not push back at all, okay? So, that's why I say, and women are good at it. If she, just stop. Just don't push, do not push through any resistance from a woman. That's where you get yourself in trouble. But be bold and go take the kiss. And a woman will let you come in for trust me, a woman knows you're coming in for that kiss. She'll let you come all the way in for that kiss if you're bold with it, But, let's say she didn't want to kiss you, and she said, no, and at the last second you hit her lips. Didn't just, say, hey, I didn't hear you, whatever, but just back off, okay? And women will respect that. Okay. So then he starts having sex with her, and, and he's asking her, do you like it? And she's it's just submissive sex. And so that's the point of the whole case study. So let's see, Chloe, all right. So 30 minutes later, so we got the Chloe, yep. All right, now moving on with this. If you rush intimacy, you can run the risk of turning a woman off. If you work too hard to please a woman, you make the woman's pleasure more important than your own. Correct. This turns women off. Yes, that's beta male. If you're just sitting there working on the woman all the time and, worried about how she's doing and not worrying about your own pleasure. A woman loves to give a man a BJ. And you grab her head, and again, don't hurt women, don't be respectful. But again, I'd have to show how to do it, but just be dominant though, okay? Let's see. Yes. So you don't want to. So basically, women take a long time to warm up, okay, with sex. So you really got to be slow kisses. Talk. Be verbal. Women love dirty talk. Just be real slow. And I had a real good piece of advice from a female one time. It was, she said, if you think you're going slow during foreplay, as a man, then slow it down, like 2 times what you're doing. So if you think you're doing good, like I'm going really slow here, I'm really warming her up. She said, then slow it down double what you're already doing. Because men inherently want to speed up. That's the way we're like dogs. We want to speed up sex. And women, they take a little longer to warm up. Okay, doesn't mean they don't have any less pleasure. but women do need time to warm up. They have to get lubricated. I mean, it's true. You don't want to have a woman having, no lubrication, and you're there trying to, a pound of sandpaper vagina. It's true. All right. So don't rush intimacy. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, it turns women off. So how can you have sex with a woman and remain attractive? All right, let's see. Well, you got to be dominant. I think that's what it's going to say. Yes, women love dominant sex. As always, it is important to seek intimacy without regret. Yes, that's why I say sex has no morality. And this is I had to learn this myself. Is you don't ever apologize for you wanting sex from a woman, and the woman you want it from, do not ever apologize that you want it from her. And go in boldly and try to get try to shoot your shot. But don't without. And that's why I say when you're going for the kiss, go in for it. You don't ask. You don't say, "I'm sorry, can I get a kiss here?" No, you go for that kiss. You go grab that kiss. Now, once again, she puts any resistance, you're out. Back off. Let her know. You're good. I'm not gonna. I want a woman that wants me. I don't want a woman that I'm having to push through any resistance. Okay. Without regret and without apology, 100%. Masculinity demands you act. Your actions to speak louder than your words. So masculinity demands that your actions speak louder than your words. 100%. Yes, a man speaks with his behavior, not what he's he doesn't say, "I'm the best on the team." No, he goes to be the best on the team. All right. Let's see. Heterosexual relationships suffer. So lesbian relationships suffer what's called bed death because they don't have both women don't have testosterone. So there's not that high of a sex drive. So women in lesbian relationships suffer what's called bed death or whatever, I think they call it gray bedroom or I don't know. But anyway, dead bed or something. So basically, because neither one of the women have testosterone, neither one of them are kind of like initiating sex with each other. So after a while, it's like they don't even have sex anymore much. Okay. And it's called dead bed or whatever. So, but it says heterosexual relationships can suffer from dead bed too. If you're passive and make the woman make the first move, she will resent you. Yes, sex needs to be your fault. You need to lead everything to the sex. Now, once you're having sex, you both are participating and everything, but women love men that can lead. Women love men that are goal-oriented. Women love men that are direct. Women love men that take action. Women love men that enter action with boldness. Law 28. And view you as weak, yes. And submissive. To build and stoke the flames of desire, you must act boldly. Look at that. Law 28. Enter action with boldness. No one honors the timid. Yep, everyone honors the bold, but nobody honors the timid. Exactly. If you're timid with a woman, can I have a kiss? If you're going for a kiss and let's say she doesn't want to kiss you, she still respected you. You were bold. And how do you correct a bold action? You correct audacity through more audacity. I love that. Let's see. Act boldly and be goal directed. Yes, I came here for this. I'm going to get this, right? When pursuing sex, yes, with women. Men often worry of offending a good girl. No such thing, like I said. If she wants to have sex with you, she's ready to be a bad girl for you. Women love being bad girls. Trust me, I've had lots of conversations with women I've been, in sexual relationships with, and we've talked about I'd love to be your bad girl. They love being a bad girl, but that's their private face. I'm not gonna tell people that. Okay, these men make quick to put a woman first, and put her needs above their own needs. Yes, and women don't like that. That's a weak man. As a man, your pleasure should be your number one priority. Yes, because if daddy's happy, everybody's happy. You must take control of the interaction and lead a woman into the bedroom 100% as if you uh, as if you can't wait to rip her clothes off. And sometimes, if you want to do a little, kind of role play, rip some clothes off. We'll make sure it's not something, you might have to buy her some new ones. But that's cool. They love that stuff. Rip, slapping that booty. Yeah, slap that booty. Give her a handprint. Pull that hair. Now, it doesn't take much force. But, like when I did have hair, if you pull on someone's hair, it doesn't hard to take any force. Do not hurt them. Just, you want to show your dominance. So just be dominant, but you don't have to slap that hard. Don't go for this, coming from downtown. No. Just, make the sound. She'll feel it, like, ooh, daddy's being a little dominant, grabbing that hair, and be careful, choking, be fucking careful, and again, just a hand, and don't, it doesn't take much. It's the role play. It's the, okay, come on. When you're engaging in that, so women do like that choking stuff. Be very careful with that, okay? And make love to her. One of the most common complaints leveled against men is men have become too passive and submissive. See? And in bed, they lack passion, refuse to take the lead in sex. It's often predictable and boring. There's so many ways to have sex. There's a saying, like, there's 26 letters in the alphabet. You know how many words are there? Tons. So if you have 26 ways to have sex, you combine things, do so many things you can do with sex. Start it a different way. Start with something else first. Work on that. It should be an art. And there is no sense of danger, or eroticism if you make a woman feel like she is there to serve you and your pleasure. Her enjoyment comes as a result of your pleasure. Yes. Oh shit, sorry. So down. Women love, like, that's why I say they love to do a BJ. Oh hell yeah. And that's because they love to see you happy and getting pleasure. Women, if they like you, their JJs get so wet when they're giving you a BJ. All right. If you make her, yeah, so I already did that one. All right. Moving on. All right. If there is any doubt that sexually dominant behavior is desirable, if there's any doubt that sexually dominant behavior is desirable and attractive, you only have to look at movies like 9.5 Weeks. Yes, that's probably before a lot of people's time, but that's a very sexy movie. 50 Shades of Grey, yes. And Secretary, I guess. Women are obsessed with dominance and submission. They absolutely are. Those movies, 50 Shades of Grey, 9.5 Weeks, all the bondage and stuff, whips and chains, it's not for men. We don't care that much. We just want to, we want to have, anyway. Let's see. Women love to be submissive. They love to be taken by, obviously by men they want to be taken by. Women are obsessed with dominance as they carried out, so studies carried out by researchers at Penn State University, they never have more, women have more orgasms than men who are more dominant. Oh, that's okay. Wow, well, what a shocker. But Penn State found that men that are more dominant, women have more orgasms with them, yes. And if you're an alpha bang guy, women have more orgasms. And it's another fun fact, women will fake orgasms with alpha bang guys because they want to make sure that you see them having a good time. Let's see. Which men? Women experience more frequent orgasms during or after a man okay, so women experience more frequent orgasms and during and after a man has had an orgasm. In other words, if you are enjoying the sexual experience, what turns her on, what makes you feel excited, think about it. All right. So basically, if she sees you having a good time and she sees you having an orgasm, she's gonna have more frequent orgasms, and they're gonna be longer. So yes, once you know, so you think about what you want. Once you know what you want in the bedroom, you must have the courage to go after your desires without inhibition. Yes, interaction with boldness, and without without inhibition. Okay, sex is not complicated. It just needs to be fun. Being sexually dominant does not mean you need whips and chains. Exactly. This and other freaky stuff. That's true. And I'll go over this in a second. You like pushing a woman up against the wall. Not hard. Just push her up against the wall. They love that. I had a great experience one time. Drove up to a woman's house. She's in the driveway. There's a SUV in the driveway. She sees me pull up. It's the first time we ever met, But we had talked, obviously. And she sees me get out of the car, and I just kind of moved fast towards her and push her right up against her truck. I mean, it was hot. She loved it. She's like, oh, they love being pushed up against stuff. They love it. To be dominant, to be done. All that is required is your masculine pressure. You come to the interaction with a loaded gun, and you must have her. You must have her. Let's see. Sorry, I can't read. Let's see. If you need so badly that you rid her of clothes. Okay, so you want to rip her clothes off. Okay, so that's basically it. You come to the bed with a loaded gun. You must have her. So yeah, you must have it so like you. Okay, so you must have her so and be like you cannot wait to get to her. That's dominant, right? And you may need her so badly you will rip her clothes off. So that's what you want. You want that purposeful. I'm here, loaded gun. Let's go. Yep. I'm ripping your clothes off. Give me that. Give me that vagina. Come on, let's go. Get on this. That's how you. Okay, all right. This dominant sexual behavior doesn't come natural. That's true. Sometimes we seem like we're being mean, And I remember one time I was younger, I was like, I was calling her like a 304. I was like, you 304. And I said, and I stopped. I was like, I'm just doing this. And she's like, yes. That's what I learned. Anyway, it come natural. So does it come natural to nice guys? Correct. Who are trained from birth to hold women in high esteem. Who, and we believe we have to hold their physical boundaries at all costs. So we have to respect their physical boundaries at all costs. Well, not during dominant sex. A woman understands this is, that she's consenting to this, and you're doing a little role play, and you push her up against the wall, and again, it doesn't need much force, just the action of pushing her up against the wall with your weight. That's it. And a woman that knows you're doing good role play, she'll fall into the wall like, oh, he got me. Oh, you pushed me so hard here, because it's a role play, it's acting, but it's hot. There are times when it feels that, yes, that you have crossed the line. There will be, and what is attractive or can, but basically, so basically, there's been times where, you're thinking you crossed the line to what is acceptable and not acceptable, and just know that you're gonna be all right. You're a good dude. You're a good moral guy. You care about the person, and always know you're there. A woman is obviously some guys, don't treat her as an object. She's a person with feelings, and understand, respect that person you're having sex with. Always remember that. That's why these guys like Harvey Weinstein, guys that there's another video on my channel. It's in the earlier stages. Go look it up. How beta males have sex and why they get arrested. Because the guy was a jerk. He kicked her out. He was disrespectful. Never disrespect women you're having sex with. Understand that, they're making themselves vulnerable to you, and really respect them, The attractive man understands there's one simple truth. Women crave controlled danger. Absolutely. They love controlled danger. Oh no, we're going to die. Oh, you're okay, daddy's here. Women crave dominant men and crave the attention of sex with dominant men. Yes. And they crave submission. Dominance is not about you using force or aggression. Correct. I've heard some of these stupid guys, I'm a dom. Just be dominant. You're supposed to be dominant. Why are you a dom? I mean, although you at times can use force and aggression during sex, right? Sexual dominance is about letting a woman know what you want and have the courage to make her submit to you. It is important to note sexual dominance is made up of two components: the physical and the verbal. The physical, when it comes to the physical dominance, let's say you're having sex with a chick and you have her in the missionary position. To be a dominant person in the missionary position, you don't need whips, chains, tie downs, zip ties. You just need to grab her hands with both your hands, or grab her arm with both your arms, and put them over her head and hold them on the bed. Now you're in dominant position. That's simple. Or grab her arms, put them out to the side, and hold them down. Okay? And she'll like that. She'll feel, and I've done this. I say, this is, you use what you want. I say, you want to get, F some more? You want to get F some more? And she'll be like, yeah. I say, it don't matter. You don't have a choice. I've got you locked down. Oh, they're like, yeah, control danger. Yeah, anyway. Getting all my secrets away. All right. So that's the missionary position. If you're in the doggy style, slap her on the booty. Grab her hair. All right. It's okay. Yep. Side. Yep. Okay. Okay. Pleasing her. Dominant. The bed, putting a woman's legs. Yep. Over your shoulders. Yep. Put her legs, like when you're missionary, then put her legs on your shoulders, and then you kind of, go forward so that she, roll her up, and, now she's kind of in a position, she's in a more submissive position there. Yep. A woman's legs over your shoulders. Yep. And putting her in a more submissive position. It is another way to exert physical dominance. Correct. If she's riding you, grab her hair. If she's riding you, obviously with consent, talk to her before. You can do light choking on a riding situation, and be very careful with that. Like I said, I personally don't like, the choking. I don't like it because it is dangerous in my opinion. If you are having sex with a woman from behind, you can slap her on the butt and let's see. And this, yes, you can slap her on the butt, and this drives a woman wild. Yeah, leave a handprint, and say, I want to see that tomorrow, but don't hit it too hard. I have had a complaint that I was going too hard a couple times. Don't hit, don't wind it up like come from downtown, haymaker. It makes her feel more submissive. Yes, daddy's hitting me up. Other physical ways to display dominance is to string a woman, to hold a woman's arm behind her back. Yep. Be careful, do all this lightly, and especially, not in the beginning. Now, some of this stuff, You got it. Anyway, even when a woman is riding you, yep, you can pull her hair, yep, or light slap on her butt, yep, pulling and lightly choking, yes, exactly, lightly, are great displays of dominance. 100%. 100%. Another good way of dominance is, tell her to get in a certain position, lie down, or, and then you can leave the room, just stay there till I come back. It's just a roll, and wait a minute or so and say, don't move, just that's like, hey. You can also be verbal to display dominance and elevate a woman's arousal to a raging fire. You can tell a woman how much you want to fuck her is a sure way to get her attention and drive her wild. 100%. 100%. You got to be that dominant. All right. Dirty talk is dirty talk is awesome. Dirty talk is a great aphrodisiac for women. Another important part of the dominant submissive behaviors is to get a woman to comply with your request. If you tell a woman you love fucking me, don't you? Yes. That so that's a good verbal. You love fucking me, don't you? It doesn't matter the answer either. She's gonna internalize it. All right. You didn't answer my question. No, and say stuff loud enough because it's turn off when you're like, saying something. She's like, what? That's a little awkward. Okay. Most women will accept and yes, internalize what you say. Yes, you want to fuck me, don't you? Yes. It is of little importance if she responds. Simple, short commands often work best when using the verbal dominance during sex. Stop. Keep going. Make me come. Yep. Simple. Yep. Get on this. Get on this D. Good girl. I like to use that one. Good girl. You like sucking that? All right. The more you get a woman to comply with your requests, the more submissive she is likely to become. If a woman refuses to submit to you, you must become more forceful. And obviously just a little bit, not hugely forceful, right? And direct in your approach, but more forceful and direct in your approach. If she continues to put up resistance, you must cut the interaction short. Yep. You're not going to let her win. So, if you're not going to comply with what I told you to do, I'm going to go a little harder and tell you to do it and be direct. No, I need you to do this. If she still refuses, you're out. Just with indifference. Okay, well, apparently, you don't want to follow my rules. I'm out. And pull away as a form of punishment. Yep. You must never let a woman's resistance affect you. Right, 100%. And what have I said? When a man gets emotional around a woman, that is such weakness. That's disgusting to them. A woman's resistance, affects you. She is simply asking the question, are you man enough to make her submit? And you say, hell yeah, watch this, girl. I've had women try to do that, it's kind of weird. I had one chick, she was like saying I couldn't physically make her do stuff. It was not like she's like, a man can't make me physically do stuff. I can make you physically. And she was actually like pushing against me, like I was trying to like roll her over or so, and she was like trying to fight against me. And so I had to go hard and, it didn't hurt nobody. And I finally had to say, you need to stop. Like, this is not fun anymore. Like, whatever. And she was being a little nutball about it. But sex is, a beautiful thing, and here's what I always say about, one of the best things I say about sex is, if you're with a woman that has high interest in you, and desires you, has that genuine burning desire, iron rule Tomasi number 3, the woman who makes you wait for sex, the sex is never worth the wait. Because the woman that will bang you, the woman that will make you wait for sex is the same woman that will bang the guy in the hot guy in the foam cannon party in Cancun at 30 seconds. Because if she has genuine burning desire for you, she'll want to have sex with you, and that genuine burning desire will have her so lit up when you guys are about to have sex that sex will be good. It's not about technique. It's about how much desire she has to want to bang you, right? I've had women, I'm wet all day, they'll tell me, I want to, and they're like ready to have an orgasm by the time they just pull up to my place, right? Yeah, so, and then I've noticed that if women, we're kind of like lukewarm, like moderate interest women, dude, I start thinking, whoa, my techniques suck? No, that means they weren't desiring of me, already. So, the sex happens and I always say this, sex happens in the mind. Sex happens in the mind, okay? So, just always remember that. It's not so much what you're physically doing, what's physically happening. It's what's going on in the mind. Because, if you had cow manure in a room where you're having sex, you'd be like, ugh, yeah, because the mind can't forget that smell, But anyway, just have fun with it. Women love it. I've got tons of videos on it. That's chapter 33, The Power of Sex. We'll see you on the next one.